Before the United States had a mint, one man created a gold coin so rare, today it's worth millions. There is a moment in every nation's story when uncertainty and ambition meet. For the young United States in the 1780s, that moment lived in metal. Not in grand monuments or official mint buildings, but in a small New York workshop where a goldsmith worked by hand, guided by skill, reputation, and faith in a country still finding its footing. In that workshop, a coin was born that would outlive empires, outshine fortunes, and capture the imagination of collectors for centuries. This is the story of the 1787 Brasher Doubloon. When the American Revolution ended, independence was won, but stability was not. The new nation had no unified currency system. Foreign coins circulated side by side. Spanish pieces of 8, British coins, Dutch ducats. Paper money varied wildly in value. Trust in currency was fragile. Commerce needed certainty. Trade needed confidence. Everyday life needed a standard of value people could believe in. The United States Mint would not be established until 1792. But long before the government created official coinage, individuals stepped forward to fill the void. One of them was a respected New York goldsmith named Ephraim Brasher. Ephraim Brasher was not an obscure craftsman. He was a well-known figure in New York society. A skilled gold and silversmith, a neighbor of George Washington, and a man whose reputation stood for reliability in precious metal work. In an age when trust was everything, Brasher's name carried weight. He inspected gold and silver, verified quality, and marked items with his initials. That small stamp, EB, was more than a signature. It was a guarantee. At a time when official coinage did not yet exist, a trusted goldsmith could create value simply by certifying purity. Brasher did more than certify metal. He took a bold step forward. He struck gold coins of his own design. In 1787, Brasher produced a series of gold coins modeled loosely on Spanish doubloons, which were widely accepted in international trade. But these were not copies. They were a statement. The coin carried symbols of a new identity. On one side, an eagle spreads its wings, holding a shield across its chest. 13 stars appear above, representing the original states. A wreath encircles the design, suggesting unity and endurance. On the other side, a radiant sun rises over mountains. Around the edge appear words in Latin and colonial form. Nova Ebaraca Columbia Excelsior. New York. America. Ever upward. This was not simply currency. It was a message. A vision of national aspiration struck in gold. Among all Brasher doubloons, one detail commands special attention. The small punch of the letters DB. On the example you see, those initials are stamped directly onto the eagle's wing. This placement is rare and significant. It marks Brasher's personal certification of the coin's gold content. In an era before government guarantees, that punch served as assurance of value. It is a small detail. But in the world of numismatics, small details can shape legends. The DB on wing variety is among the most celebrated coins in American history. Only a handful of Brasher doubloons are known today. Their survival was never guaranteed. Gold coins were meant to circulate. They were spent, traded, and often melted when economic conditions demanded. Precious metal rarely remains idle. Yet some pieces escaped that fate. They were preserved by chance, by collectors, by quiet recognition that these coins represented something extraordinary. Each surviving example carries centuries of handling, survival, and rediscovery. Rarity did not come from limited production alone. It came from time, loss, and the unpredictable journey of history. Over the centuries, the Brasher doubloon moved from circulation to curiosity, from curiosity to treasure. When collectors began to understand its significance, demand grew. Not merely because it was gold. Not merely because it was rare. but because it represented a moment before official authority, when private initiative stepped in to shape economic identity. At auction, these coins achieved prices that stunned the world. Multi-million-dollar valuations placed the Brasher Doubloon among the most valuable coins ever sold. But price alone does not define importance. Its true value lies in what it represents, the transition from uncertainty to structure, from experiment to nationhood. The rising sun on the coin is not accidental imagery. It mirrors the political climate of its time. The United States was not yet fully formed. The Constitution itself was being debated in 1787. The sun does not sit high in the sky. It is emerging. The mountains beneath it suggest challenge. The rays suggest hope. The eagle, shielded but alert, speaks to defense and unity. The wreath signals perseverance. Every element reflects a country striving upward. The coin is both artifact and narrative. Today, the Brasher Doubloon stands as more than a collectible. It is a bridge between private craftsmanship and national identity. It reminds us that institutions are built gradually. That trust can begin in small workshops before becoming law. That value can emerge from reputation before it is enforced by government. Collectors treasure it. Historians study it. Museums display it. But its deeper significance remains simple. It shows how a young nation imagined itself before it fully existed. In the palm of a hand, the Brasher Doubloon appears modest. A gold disc, worn by time, marked by initials, shaped by human effort. Yet within its surface lives a story of ambition, uncertainty, craftsmanship, and belief. It is not just gold. It is not just rare. It is not just valuable. It is a moment when America, still fragile and unfinished, looked toward the future and declared, "We are rising." And in that declaration, struck by hand in 1787, a nation's promise was preserved in gold.